We live in very complex times. Gender norms and social norms are changing rapidly. As a result, family dynamics are also changing. The relationship between men and women, fathers and mothers, is evolving. As a result of this, when fathers or men want to become more involved, it can be quite complex.
The only thing I've never done is breastfeed just because that is impossible.
Well, I'm there 110%, right? Both of us are. We're very hands-on with our son.
He's more like a partner. I do like the physical stuff home and she do like the house stuff home, like cooking, cleaning. I do the washing, Just give her the support to not get she tired.
Orgasm may cause
Everybody has a different attitude to what a father should be like. But what does it mean to behave like a father? And how is it accepted by those around? Not many men have role models for fatherhood, and not many women have seen what a father should be like. So sometimes it's very complex for men who want to engage in this process of being a father.
Live in a house with one parent and it might be live with a stepfather. A stepfather might come, a stepfather might go. So it is what you fuel that child is what they go live. So if they see the brother will have a child with a woman and he will go, they feel it's a norm, And I think in the Caribbean it happened because if you go up with a mother and father, your father and mother stay with you from birth till you leave the house, you will have the respect, and if you meet a woman, you'll try your best to make it work.
I definitely think that the reason that happens is because of a lack of role models, right? Majority of the younger people out here today, they don't have any role models that they look up to and they follow that does those sorts of things. And we always have a saying, association will always take you where you follow it. So if it is that the association does not have kids, they don't have responsibilities, that is exactly what they're going to do, is almost inevitable.
Well, several things fuel the absent father behavior. Number one, you have that historical context, how they separated the men from their families during slavery and so on, and that pattern of behavior continued. Number two, you have a system whereby female-headed households is the norm, and even further as women have become more empowered and so on. Some men, unfortunately, they just can't deal with that.
We live in a society where the extended family is often very involved in child rearing. If there has not been the experience or the expectation of the father being involved, and he does want to become involved, quite often there's pushback.
I remember experiencing it a little bit and almost not wanting to have another child because of it.
I think it's hard for a man to put on his foot, especially if he in a situation where you have more females around than male. I also don't think the man would like to show the aggressive side to the family, so he'll put his foot down and whatever happen and let you go most of the time.
I definitely do think that's a stigma as well, simply because 4 years later, my decisions are still well respected.
Many fathers do not feel as comfortable in this space of parenting, especially if they are in a scenario where most of the people involved are women, the mother, her mother, aunties, etc. But it is important for men to understand that we have an important role to play and that we need to educate ourselves and prepare ourselves to be equally involved in raising our children. And this does not necessarily mean that you have to have money in order to be involved.
Yes, they do. It have a gang up on that because I think most aunties or sister or mothers will gang up on against a man based on their past experience with their own spouse, their boyfriend or their husband. So they think before you even make an attempt, you will do the same thing. So I think that they tend to judge you before they even give you the opportunity.
For a lot of men, it is very, very frustrating, especially for new fathers who really want to be involved in each child's life. It is true that the father may not always understand what is happening, but then even in a good relationship, he is stopped from making decisions by his partner, it might be his wife or his girlfriend, and her mother, or them and his mother too. That becomes very frustrating. So you suddenly understand that as a father, your word isn't important, especially when it concerns an infant. And that frustration could lead men to then withdraw and can then mess up the relationship that he may have with his child.
I believe it's the relationship that both parties have as the mom and dad with the families. That plays a huge role before the child is born, and it will play a huge role when the child is born, and it comes down to making your decisions. Because if you weren't really around, they're not going to trust the decisions, they're not going to respect the decisions, and the connection is just not going to be there. There are some men who will fight to have their say involved in a situation, but I do believe that when someone's opinion isn't valued, they basically lose interest, and that starts the whole process of tearing apart the situation.
That depends on the movie that you're watching. But in real life, to show love and to care is strength. Even fathers with average parenting skills can make a real impact on their children's lives. Fathers provide physical and psychological support to the whole family. Money alone cannot do it.
They bring a lot to the table. People think, fathers are just sperm donors, they don't do anything. And I think we get wrapped up in finances. A father's job is to financially provide. And once you can't do that, well, you're good for nothing and you can't do anything else.
I would say it is much more than just financial support. For a father to be around his child, I would say it is very important. He would learn a lot of things, like if it's his first, he would know how to communicate with a girl child or a girl, know how to clean a girl properly, and the do's and don'ts, what you're not supposed to do. I would teach him. If he doesn't know for himself, he doesn't know exactly, what is safe to do.
Realistically, there are things that a father is meant to do. Otherwise, there would be no point to having fathers. It'll just be women alone, So fathers are meant to have their roles as well. And I think that women need to also remind them of it and let them know that, hey, you have a role too. And I'm going to give you space to act on that role. And, you'll be very surprised with the difference that it makes in the child's life and in the household in general.
And as the gender roles change, it becomes more and more difficult to predict or even assume how each person is going to behave in the role of the father or even the mother. But it's so important that men and women, fathers and mothers, work together. They say a bird cannot fly with one wing. They need both wings to soar. The involvement of the father helps to ensure more successful parenting and more successful children.